What's up with it, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, K-Rino. And this is an interesting to me. I can't say how y'all gonna feel about it, but this is an interesting topic to me because we don't really realize how compartmentalized a lot of us are. A lot of us don't really take that into account as we go throughout our daily life. We just kind of go through life and deal with different people in different settings. And a lot of times we just, some of us, morph into whatever it is we need to morph into depending on who we are around. And I want to talk about how that is not necessarily a good thing depending on how you're doing it, and why also it is a good thing depending on how you're doing it. So we calling this one the 5 versions of you and me and us as a collective. Be sure that when y'all come in, y'all hit that like button for your big brother. Hit that like button as y'all come into the house. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so right now. Don't just be a visitor just passing through. Feel free to move into the K-Rino YouTube channel. We got a room for everybody. We got enough rooms for everybody in here. Right now, we probably at we got about 47,000 subs. Even though a lot of those people don't really interact. I don't know who these people are, but we got 47,000 rooms occupied. We got room for as many as we can have. So y'all subscribe to the channel and always keep your notifications on. We're talking about the 5 versions of you, me, us. And why did I come up with just 5? How did I come to that number? That's just the 5 categories that stood out to me. Now it might be 10, it might be 7, maybe 8, depending on who you are and who you know and how you get down. But I feel like those 5 that I laid out, or these 5 that I'm getting ready to lay out, will pretty much encompass everything, and then hopefully y'all will ride with me. And the reason why I'm doing this topic is to try to add an element to our life to try to make us better, and to consolidate these 5 versions of us, which all of us, which everybody pretty much dabbles in a version of each of these categories. Is just about how extreme you are, and that's what I'm gonna get into. And hopefully, like I say, I can lay something out that may make us better and not be so all over the place. You hear the word two-faced all the time. They say, man, people out here too, man, they just so two-faced. Everybody out here so fake. And you always hear people saying that all the time. And a lot of times it's simply because being fake is basically all it really is. When someone says that somebody is fake, all that really means is that they're acting one way over here, then they're acting another way over here. That's all it means. Or they're presenting themselves to be this particular way when they're around this group. You could be in that group. Then when they get over here, they somebody else. So when you find that out, when that gets revealed, the first thing you say, well, oh man, I found out, man, he fake, man. She fake, man. She two-faced. He two-faced. But some people are 3 and 4 and 5-faced. You got a face here, you got one here, you got one here, face on top of the head. you know. Um, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. The 5 versions of you. This is in no particular order, but I will save one for last. The first 4 in no particular order. The first version is when you're at home, home and family, home, family, friends. I lumped all those into the same category because when you are at home with family and friends, that those are the people who you're most comfortable with. Those are the people who, if it's friends that you've been knowing for years and years, you grown up with, family members who you grown up with, and they know you inside out just like you know them. They y'all have shared secrets with each other. They know your middle name that nobody else knows. They remember the time you peed on yourself when you was in the third grade. These are the people who are close to you, and y'all have been through things together. I also lump in relationships with that too, because that's part of family. So it's family, friends, and part of family is relationships. They see um, you at your best and at your worst. Sometimes they see you when you frustrated, when you're mad, and you come home teed off or whatever. You vent to them, and in a lot of cases, that is when those are the people. That is the home category. That's the category where you are pretty much the most highest, closest version to the real you, is when you're around your friends and your family. You kind of let your guards down around certain people that you have grown to trust. That's right, 74 Red. Y'all hit the like button. It's a few of y'all in here, but we like the likes to catch up with the members at the very least. So when you're at home, these are the people that you are most familiar with. They're most familiar with you, and y'all are very comfortable with each other. So they see sides of you that people don't particularly see, and you're comfortable. You don't have any problem showing that because that's all you've known. Um, Shout out to Travel and Work Channel. I appreciate the love and support. Much love to you, man. Thank you for that compliment as well. I'm trying to be the metaphor master. So being at home, man, even with your children, you open up to them. They see certain vulnerabilities in you that you don't show when you're out in the world because you have to put on that armor, when you're out in the world. The second category would be your work life, your professional life. When you go to work, there's a certain level of professionalism, a certain level of work etiquette that you have to have. There's a certain protocol that you have to follow, and there are rules and regulations and guidelines that you have to follow. And there's there could be dress code, a certain way you have to dress at work. There's certain levels of language that you have to use at work or are not allowed to use that you would use in the first category, which is home. So you at home, you might be cussing like a sailor. You might be saying things that you would never say in a work environment. And when you're talking about just the professionalism, that's fine. But I'm talking about individuals who go to work and have that mentality. They just flip a switch and they turn into somebody totally different. They just start talking different. Oh yes sir, Mr. Jones. We're going to just it's like, who is this person? Some people have that kissing up mentality where they want to rise up the ladder so much that they just butt kiss their way up the ladder, and other people subject themselves to harsh treatment, even if they're not kissing behind to get up, but they allow employers to mistreat them on the job or to not show appreciation for the work that they've done, and they just allow themselves to really be uh, done wrong on these jobs. You're showing a side of yourself that you would never show at home. You'll talk to your brother, your sister, and your cousin. Some people they own mama. You'll have words for them. You'll have strong language for certain people in your home setting, but then when you get in a professional setting, you cower down because you are in fear of losing a job, or you are trying to kiss your way up the ladder. You're kissing down to try to get up. That's another version of yourself. You're showing another version of yourself. And people will recognize it because there are some people who act like that on a job and oh yes sir, we're going whatever we got to do, sir. And then when they go on lunch break with their coworkers, they're a totally different person. So they looking like, hey, wait a minute, who's this guy? I'll come back to the good side. Then you have the people who act a certain way around important people. This doesn't have to be on the job. You have people who, like I say, y'all are cool and you see them, you know how they are. And then if certain people come around, it could be a celebrity, it could be just another famous person, a politician, it could be somebody that is considered to be of some high level of importance. You see them act a totally different way. You see them get completely out of character, just beside themselves, just overwhelmed, just kissing up and just over the top and you're like, man, who are you? You know, and don't get me wrong, if you meet somebody that you know you're a fan of, that's a celebrity or somebody that even has a high level, a high position and status in society, if you're in school and there are popular people, you know, they have little hierarchies in school and all that. And there's people that are popular in school and college or whatever, and you just change into a totally different person. You hit a switch and change into a totally different person when those type of people come around because you want to be next to them or you are in awe of them. That's another version of you. And it's not always a good look. See, people always talk about female groupies and things of that nature when it comes to celebrities, but you got a lot of male groupies out there too. You have a lot of male groupies. And let me distinguish something. Nothing wrong with being a fan. Nothing wrong with being a supporter. But when you take on the characteristics of being a groupie, then you are just so over the top to the point of almost worshiping this individual who's just like you, who's no different than you as a person, and the characteristics, physical and mental characteristics that they may have. It's fine to show appreciation for a person, but it's a real bad look when you are just over the top worshiping an individual. And when you did not act like that 5 minutes before this person walked into the room. So now the people that you're with that know you, the people that you hanging around, they're looking at you again like, what is wrong with you? They may go up to the celebrity, hey man, you mind if I take a picture? And yeah, take a picture, that's fine. But you all over them. You talking to them, man, you know, I just relax. Compose yourself. Compose yourself. Have some dignity about yourself, because whatever quality it is that they have that made you feel that way about them, you have that same quality, just maybe in a different category of life. Everybody's not going to be known, but you got somebody that's a brain surgeon out there. You have somebody that's a mathematician, a scientist, that have abilities that far exceed us who may just participate in the arts or things of that nature. People that have other life-changing skills, life-altering skills, other skills that are inspirational to people who are trying to come up in those same fields. You may be one of those people. So yeah, be a fan, but don't change your character. And in a lot of times people will change their character and they will. I used to have a homie. I'm gonna give you an example. I used to have a homie who every time we was young, not every time, but sometimes when popular people would come around, now we the best of buddies, we cool as a fan. But sometimes when popular people would come around, he started cracking on me. You know, he was just start, he be talking to the so-called popular people did, he'd take a moment to say something about me and crack a joke on me or something in front of them, you know. So using your friends, you know, trying to gain popularity and favor with these people at the expense of your friends. It's like, dude, we were just laughing and joking, hanging out and just having a regular conversation. This guy shows up, you turn into another person and start cracking on me. I'm sure people have, sure some of y'all have know people like that. Then when the person goes away, they turn back into their normal self. They're like, wait a minute, hold on. You know, they don't, a lot of times they're not even conscious that they're doing it. They're just so motivated and focused on getting into good graces with that person. The last category, not the last category, the fourth category, version of you and us, is the social media version, which is newer. In recent years, social media has become the vehicle that many people use to construct and form and shape themselves into a character that may or may not, more often may not actually be who they are, will not be a reflection of who they are. Social media has afforded us the ability to create an illusion, a mirage of who we really are. So I can get on a picture and take my paycheck that I just got from working on a 9 to 5 and cash it, and I can make me a money fan and talk about how we balling and getting ready to do this and do that, or knowing I'm getting ready to go pay bills with that money. I can be sitting at a restaurant and just take a picture of my food and nice restaurant. Probably my first time ever being there. And just put living the good life on the caption. Knowing I shouldn't even went to that restaurant, knowing I should have went to the store, made some groceries, and budgeted that out for the week. A woman can get on social media and unfortunately strip down, put on a two-piece, turn her booty toward the camera and act like she modeling and just got it going on and just living her best life. And all the while, there's chaos going on in the next room. We can paint a false picture of our lifestyle on social media. This is one of the most dangerous versions of ourselves, our false selves that we create, that we make in order to make ourselves feel and to make others feel like we are important, or to receive what's called those addictive likes, the approval of everyone else on the outside of you to approve something about you that doesn't even exist. Social media. I can stand by a car that's not mine. Can I take a picture in front of your Rolls Royce? Yeah, man, go ahead. I stand in front of the Rolls Royce like, yeah, we out here killing it. Like, where does that need come from for that kind of acceptance? See, I'm a big fan of Rudy Ray Moore, aka Dolomite. And he used to say something. He used to say, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And for those that don't like it, frankly, I don't give a damn. He said, because I'd rather be hated for who I am than to be loved for who I'm not. See, the last part is the biggest part. I would rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. Because if I'm being who I am and you don't like it, I'm still being true to myself. There's nothing artificial about it. We just have a disagreement. We just don't see eye to eye on whatever it is something, whatever my views are, whatever my lifestyle is, you just don't like it. And that's fine if I don't have a problem with it. And I've matured, I'm saying I, but I mean we, and we've matured past the point of actually caring what people think about our true self. See, when we have an issue with our true self, and we have a low level of self-esteem in terms of how we think people view our true self or what our true self should be, then we start trying to change our true self. We start trying to become somebody else. We start trying to do things to please other people. Now, we're trying to please other people who literally have no bearing on your life. These are people who don't pay bills for you. These are people who are not immediate family and loved ones and friends. These are people who, in a lot of cases, especially in the case of social media, these are people who don't even know you, and you don't even know them. But we're gaining a false sense of satisfaction by forming this false image and getting somebody to click the like button. And that was just a boom, that was just an energy boost for us. So you go revisit your post, man, I got 250 likes. But is the 250 likes given to you based on something that is a true reflection of your inner character in yourself? Are those likes organic? Are they legitimate in that realm? Because how do you feel about people congratulating you on a post and people, look, I can go deeper than this. How do you feel about you saying, man, I'm getting ready to make big moves. God has blessed me, and y'all gonna see me on this now. I'm leaving town. I'm finally living my dream, and you really not. You ain't going nowhere. But you got a million comments, man. Congratulations, man. I knew you could do it, man. You just keep believing. I'm glad to see you doing your thing, man. Get it. And you are receiving false love. Well, the love ain't false. You are getting a false sense of satisfaction from genuine love for people who are congratulating you and being rejoicing in your fake success. What does that do for you when you get off social media? Are you happy? Shout out to Richard Thomas. I appreciate the love, man. Richard Thomas in the building. This is for all the times you shouted me out when you really didn't have to. Oh, man, it ain't nothing but love, man. I appreciate you, Rich. So the social media images that we create leads me to the last category. Now, keep in mind, I said the 5 versions of us. I said home. I said work/professional. I said being around so-called important people, how you act and how people change up. And I said social media. That was the 4th version. The 5th version of you and us and me and we is when you all alone and it's just you by yourself. That's the 5th version. And that version is the realest one out of all of them. That is the true self that, like the song I wrote years ago called the me that you don't see, that is the me the you, the us that people don't see. When you one deep, you in the house and you decompressing, you thinking about all your stresses and the problems and figuring it out. You're talking to yourself, not talking to yourself mentally, just like, no, you talking. Raise your hand if when you by yourself in a house alone, you be actually talking to yourself like the same way I'm talking right now. Raise your hand if you want to, reveal that. Y'all might want to know, man, I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy. But the truth is, you ain't got to even raise your hand because I know you do. You be in the house going, damn, I got to figure out how I'm going to pay this bill, man. Man, I can't believe this dude did this, man, over at the job today, man. I'm tired of these people up here, man. And this person getting on my nerves. You saying this out loud. See? Everybody does. How can you live in this world with all of the drama that goes on around us in this world, and when you are alone, you just in silence, and anything that's happening is just happening in your head? I would think you was crazy. That's what part of decompressing is. You just kind of you done came out the world. You just got off work, man. You've been in the streets. You've been arguing with folks and all this different stuff. When you come home, you just, man. When you watch a game, you hollering at the TV. Like, get the rebound. When you watch a movie, you talking to the people in the movie. Somebody do something crazy in the movie. You watching the movie by yourself. You're like, oh no, man, you better not go in that room. Oh man, look at this fool. Look, that's what we do. That's what we do. And it's natural. Don't feel no kind of way. The alone you, that is the realest version of you. You be in the house crying. Be in the house shedding real tears. Going through something, getting it out. That's your time to get it out. Then the phone ring, you phone, hello? Yeah, what's up, man? You turn right back into who you was. You put on that face. Because the truth of the matter is, everybody shouldn't see your vulnerable side. Everybody shouldn't see you in your weak state, because there are people who will try to capitalize off of your weak state. There are people who will try to use that as a weapon against you at some other form. So you have to be guarded in certain areas. Last times you vent to people, you let people know, hey, it's crazy. That's natural. You got friends and family for that. But I would not advise venting on social media. We got an OG salute to do in a minute. I see my brothers up in here. I don't want to lose this point. I wouldn't advise venting on social media. Some of us are too much of an open book, where you tell too much of your life. Shouldn't do that. Stop doing that. Females in particular, I see that the most. Don't think I'm attacking the females, but dudes do it too. Stop going through the processes of your mind with the things you're going through in your life and decide that you got to put that out in front of the whole world. And then you shooting slugs at the person that you got a problem with in that moment. You got a problem with that person in that moment, and you just tearing them up on social media. Then one day later, y'all back together again. Or one day later, you and the person, y'all had a falling out, y'all friends again. So all that you said is still out there. And you've expressed to the whole world how you really felt in that moment, because you couldn't control your emotions and your anger, and you put that out and blasted somebody that everybody knew y'all was going to be cool again at some point. You have to control your emotions. And even if it's not a beef that you have with a person, even if it's just something you're going through internally, just hold that. Don't put your energy out there. Don't expose. You have to protect your weak side. Protect your weak side. There are animals in nature that when they attack other animals, they know to go to the softest part of that animal's body. They try to get to that vulnerable side. They try to get to the belly. If the animal's on all four, but he might have a hard shell. It might be an armadillo or something. Can't bite an armadillo from the top. Too hard. But if an animal of prey flips him over, he's going to try to flip him over or get to the side where the meat is at. That's how people do. Let me do the OG salute to my brother, Murder One. Right now, I need y'all to show my brother some love. I need peace signs, fists, salutes, anything that y'all have in y'all emoji world that represents showing love. I need y'all to flood the chat right now with salutes to the OG. Y'all can put it in words like Richard did. Salute to the SPCOG. Just power fists, whatever you got, man. Show love to one of the originals, South Park Coalition, man. Plain and simple. There you go. Marty Marr is in the building, man. Show love to the OG Murder One. He's up in this thing. Got to show love to Murder One at 11 o'clock because he normally knocked out. If Murder One is up this late, got to show him some love. He must have been tossing and turning and couldn't sleep. Murder One go to sleep like your grandpa or your grandma. 8:30, this Murder One. That's right. Show my brother some love. But you have to guard your weak side. Well, man, I'm real, man. I don't care, man. Being real don't mean telling everybody everything that's going on with you. And the truth of the matter is, there are even some close family and friends that you have to restrict, that to withhold certain things from. Because everybody that's with you ain't with you. But over time, you learn to discern and distinguish the difference between, okay, I know not to say that to him. I know not to say that to her. I'll deal with this on my own. And a lot of times people probe. What's wrong, man? What's down? So what? Oh, man, I'm just going through stuff. What happened? What happened? What happened? They too anxious to know what happened to you. Don't tell them. They getting pleasure out of it some kind of way. Or they are ready to go and repeat it to somebody else. So the alone version of you is the realest version. That's the realest version of you that you're going to get, because nobody is around. Nobody is in the room but you and God himself. And he already know everything. He knew you was going to get jammed up before you got jammed up. So you are never more of yourself than when you are alone. So those are the 5 versions. Now let me backtrack, and because I spoke about a lot of the negative aspects of those versions, and I want to talk about positive aspects of those versions and how to properly consolidate those versions. When you talk about home and family, again, these are the people that you're most comfortable with, the most vulnerable around, the people who know you better than anybody. In a lot of cases, you have to exercise the ability to lean on them in the right times and the right moments, and to also be a person that they can lean on when they're going through it, because family got to look out for family, friends got to look out for friends. So You have to be just as much as a shoulder to lean on as they are a shoulder for you. So you build up a not necessarily a credibility, even though you gain credibility through your works, but you establish yourself as an individual who is trustworthy, who can be depended on, and who is categorized as a true friend. This my friend, or as a true brother, true sister, true family member. Because like the song say, all blood ain't family. That's on my new album, Blessing and the Burden. I couldn't find a CD, so I pulled out the mug. Y'all go to southparkcoalition.net, get it right now. That's the commercial. I'm acting like I'm drinking something. So to build a proper family structure, you got to be focused on the family first. It's family first, then community. Strong family equals strong community. Just what it is. But it can't be one-sided. So if you're receiving that kind of love, you got to make sure that you're giving that kind of love back. Don't take advantage of people. When you're at work, it's the flip side to that. I talked about those who change up, those who kiss butt to get in positions, those who have they change their whole voice. They get overly coonish, yes a boss, and they get real like that. What about those who stand up for themselves at work if they see something not going right? Or they feel like they're being mistreated? You can stand up for yourself in a way that's not being disrespectful or crazy, but in a way that's demanding of respect, even from the bosses, even from your employer. They're like, well, look, hold on, wait a minute now. I'm gonna work. I show up on time. I do my work. I do my job, but I'm not gonna be disrespected. Stand up for yourself. Incorporate the principles that hopefully we've learned in the first category, which is home, and hopefully we've received those principles from somebody, if it's not a parent, from somebody strong in their family that taught us to command respect no matter who or what, to make me to where I don't have to feel like I gotta cower down or I gotta lie. People start putting their head down. That's when you know. That's when you know. Standing up for yourself, doing your job and letting your work speak for itself, but never letting anybody take you out of who you really are, the comfort of who your character really is. Hey, we want you to do this. Well, everybody's gonna be the. No, I'm not gonna do that. It's not something that I want to do. I'm not talking about something job related. I'm talking about just say they having a Halloween costume party at the job and you don't celebrate Halloween. They say, well, everyone's gonna wear a costume. We want to see you. And in your mind, you're like, man, I don't celebrate Halloween. What am I gonna? Are you gonna punk out and show up with a costume on, knowing that you don't celebrate a devil worshiping holiday? Or are you gonna tell them, well, thank you, but no, I don't celebrate Halloween or any of the holidays. So I appreciate the invite, but I'm gonna pass. Be yourself. Your gut is gonna automatically rebel against principles that you don't stand on. Your mind is gonna instantly, from the second you hear it, but the weak will compromise their principles. Social media, again, use social media to your benefit. Use social media as a means to exude positivity, to put out good energy, put good quotes up there, put positive memes on your page, or speak positive things that come out your own mind. Even if you're going through stuff, stop putting your personal business on social media. Because the question you have to ask yourself is, what do you gain from it? No matter how mad you are, no matter what you're going through, when you decide to say, I'm going to air this out on social media, what is it that you are seeking to gain from it? What you going to get out of it? Now, if there's no benefit that comes out of it, what's the purpose? It is no purpose. Do you want sympathy? Because a lot of times people just want sympathy. They want somebody to feed that side. Then, well, oh man, well, it's gonna be all right. And some people, they go through certain things, and because don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's never a time that if you might be going through something that you can't put it on social media. Somebody's, man, can y'all please pray for my son? He's having surgery tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Things like that. But man, if you and your girlfriend got into it last night, don't put that on social media, man. Don't add that out. You had a bad situation with a friend, a family member, you and your mama got a bad relationship. Don't add that out on social media, man. Keep that in the family, man. Keep that to yourself. Use social media as a means to eject positivity, man, the best you can. Because a lot of people do what is called incriminate themselves on social media. That's another thing. All y'all young people out there, y'all young cats out there, y'all like to have your drugs and your guns and your stop giving this system an easy path to lock you up by telling everybody in the world what you're doing. Bad enough that you're doing it, but y'all not even exercising general common sense. See, back in the days, the thing to do was to act like you wasn't out there doing illegal activities. To present yourself as a clean, upstanding citizen, but on the cool, you selling a whole bunch of dope. At least back then, the drug dealers had the wherewithal to go, oh, we don't want nobody to know. It wasn't good for the block to be hot back in the days. You ain't want the block to be hot. Now, but if the block did get hot, it's because somebody else ran their mouth on the outside who knew what was going on the inside, and they started running their mouth for whatever reason. These days, the very people who doing what they do, y'all making the block hot. Because you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, Facebook, all these different platforms, basically telling on yourself. See? Because again, you are feeding into that version of yourself, that false version of yourself that makes you want to present yourself as some big time street character. You got all the dope, you got all the guns, you got all the killers around you. Why? Why attract that kind of energy? Why attract that kind of attention to yourself? It's not smart. Why put yourself on the radar of your enemies? Why put yourself on the radar of your enemies, both enemies. Your enemies in the street and your enemies in the court system, who are the bigger enemies, who will now use that very post that you put out there in court to lock you up. Being around important people. I'm just backtracking. I went up, coming back down, coming back up. Listen to me for a minute. We've all had starstruck moments, I'm sure. If you never have, then, you know, that's pretty even keel person. I know I've had a couple in my day. But even a starstruck moment is different from changing your demeanor and changing your behavior when you get around certain people. Nothing wrong with, wow, man, hey, really glad to, man, it's nice to meet you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because we don't know the impact and effect that a person has had on another person's life. Music has saved people's life. The inspiration that people have drawn from reading a certain author's book has changed people's life. The inspiration that people have drawn from watching an athlete rise to the top has motivated others to do the same. The inspiration that people have drawn from seeing a person struggle and working their way up, we don't know what kind of impact that has on people and what kind of study that a person has underwent to watch that person pattern themselves after that person and then become a living example that they might not have become had they never come in contact with that person. So we get that. Nothing wrong with that. It might get overwhelming. Person might cry when they meet a certain person. Don't judge that as being, oh man, that's an old sucker dude, man. This dude a groupie, man. Look, he crying. Or, no. Don't judge that as that, because we don't know what that person meant to them. I'm talking about changing up. You have chameleons when they get around celebrities. They either try to act like they on the same level as the celebrity, or they just want to talk the celebrity's head off and kiss up to them and totally change in front of the people who they're around every day. You let me be around one of my partners and they acting like that, and then I'll be sitting there like, who is this guy? You still have to maintain you, because a person is going to respect you more when they see that you are being yourself. People don't really respect somebody who's all over them, man. Calm down. And embrace the last one of being alone as a therapy. When you are by yourself, use that as a therapy to cleanse yourself the best way you can. Because what are the things we do by ourselves? I just said we decompress. You may close your eyes and just kind of just go through your day like, man, whew, I almost went off on this cat earlier. You talk to yourself again. You pray. You meditate, whatever it is you do. You cook, you clean. Talking about totally things that you totally do by yourself. Watch TV, listen to music, you write, you read. Your alone time is your therapy. Nobody can be, well, I'm speaking, this is my opinion now. Nobody should be around people or even one individual person 24 hours a day. all the time you just around this one person, just somebody. To me, that's not healthy to me. Everybody deserves or should take time to just be by themselves. Even if you are the kind of person who just got to be around somebody in your mind. Some people don't like to be alone. But circumstances have made it to where you can't avoid. At some point, you're going to be by yourself, even if it's for an hour, 2 hours. Me personally, I'm the kind of dude, I need hours and hours of alone time. I got to be by myself. I can't be around folks too long. I have to be by myself just to get away, to do everything I just mentioned, just to flush out. Because you can get things out verbally. That's why you see a lot of people that do what they call chanting. And I ain't talking about no devil worshiping Illuminati chants. I ain't talking about that stuff there. I'm talking about people that have little therapeutic chant. I don't like to use the word rituals, but activities or exercises that they do that serve as therapy, serve as cleansing to them. Whatever your process is, that's your process. But you have to do that because there are things that you have to do alone that you're not going to do. I'm not going to be riding in the car with my homies and then just start chanting. Certain things are just between you and your creator. Then you come back to the pack refreshed. You come back to the pack cleansed. All right, this is the part where I get to see what y'all talking about. Part where I get to see what y'all talking about. I'm gonna go back a little ways. I'm not supposed to talk about that to tons of people I don't know. You're right, exactly, Chris. I know that was sarcasm, but that's right. Keep your personal business to yourself. That's why it's called personal business. Personal. Motto says attention. Most people want attention. And that is the clinical aspect of it, because there are some people who are really suffering from being starved of attention, and they feel as though social media is a way, and not even just social media, because you might see somebody walking down the street with just loud colors or weird crazy outfit on, just out in space type of outfit. They can say to a degree, and we can agree to a degree, that they may just, I just like colors, man. I just like flamboyant. Yeah, you could, but you're really wearing that for attention. If there's a sister who's walking through Walmart with her booty cheeks out and some little shorts, and she's not even half, people say, man, she's half naked. No, she's like 90% naked. She's doing that for attention. But great point you're making, Marty, because we got to understand that we have to teach that all attention ain't good attention. Like they say, all money ain't good money. All attention is not good attention. You may attract the wrong type of person that may cause you harm. Got people that like to be out in the club in public flashing money. You pull up to the gas station to get some gas, you pull out $2,000. Let me, how much gas I want to get? You want to show everybody. All attention ain't good attention. Mega Cali. People who do that need a journal. Now, this is the deep part of what you're talking about. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go into that because you make a great point. When I was talking about earlier, the alone version of you and some of the things that some people do, I forgot to mention a lot of people get high when they're alone. But the alone version, some people read, but other people write. But things like writing in a journal, like Mega Cali said, that's a lost thing. People don't do that no more. People don't like to write. People don't like to go purchase a journal and just write because they have made it to where social media platforms are the new journal. So the same thing that you would normally jot in a journal, you can't be lazy and be a writer. But you can type something up real quick on your phone, and that becomes your journal. So people every day document everything that they do. And subconsciously, we don't even think about you're documenting every day. You telling people your location. Well, we over here at Papados, man. What's man? We getting ready to go to Padre Island. You telling people your location. You're telling people your intentions. You're telling people you just got a new car. You're showing the car. You're telling people your problems. So your journal is no longer a private document. It's now public information. AZG said, yeah, the wrong people can see your business. See, you have individuals who you see and you have individuals that you don't see. These are the individuals who never reply to certain posts. They never hit like. They never hit dislike. They just lurk. That's what they call the ones who lurk. There are people on this chat right now who not saying anything. And that doesn't mean they have bad intentions. All of them may not. That doesn't mean that they don't like me. They just some people just personality like I'm just not the type that's gonna get on here and be commenting all that. That's fine. But you got other people, they just lurking and lurking, trying to see what I'm gonna say because they don't like me. They don't agree with my views. They don't like my what I subscribe to, my ideology. They don't like that. So they want to watch and see whatever parts of my mind that I choose to reveal to them. But understand, you never get it all. You get what I give you, but you don't never get it all. You don't get it all. The wise martial artist trained the student, and the student got so good that the student decided he felt like he could challenge the wise martial artist who trained him. So he challenged him to a fight, and the teacher defeated the student, and the student was confused, and he was like, well, man, how did you beat me, man? You taught me everything that you know. He said, you taught me everything that I know. The teacher said, no. He said, yeah, I taught you everything that you know, but I didn't teach you everything that I know. That's the moral of the story. He taught you everything that you know, but he didn't teach you everything that he knows. So it's wise, it's cool to give. I'm gonna give you a little bit of some pieces of me. Now, if it's some teachings that I've learned in particular the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, that's not for me to be concealing. That ain't mine. So if it's something I know on that level, but there are other areas that you have to know when to withhold your mouth. That's a lesson for all of y'all. You have people who walk around having to prove to everybody that they're around what it is they know. I got to be this walking knowledge pit. And everybody I meet, yeah, you know, because see, what happened is in 1914, they established the Federal Reserve Government. We was talking about basketball. Where you come with that from? Got to know when. Nick Nutt says, my kids don't have a social media account and they don't want one. Man, you got some amazing situation that in 2021, almost 2022, you have children that don't even have a desire to have a social media. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know what you did, but that's amazing. They say real G's move in silence. They say real G's move in silence. We talk about the hidden hand all the time. So if we take it to a higher level with these so-called elites, they do the same thing. Politicians do the same thing. They have versions of themselves that they present to the public on different levels. How do you think, okay, let's talk about the president of the United States right now. How was he acting when he was on the campaign trail? How was he talking? How was he interacting with the people? How did he talk to black people? What are some of the things he said? He was so down, right? At least y'all thought he was. Some of y'all, not all of y'all. He was so down. He presented a version of himself, a false version of himself. Well, no, it's a real version of himself. It was the snake version that was presenting himself to be cool in order to accomplish a goal, which was to sucker you out of your vote. But what is the version of himself that's behind closed doors when there's no camera, no media, just him and his staff talking about what's really going on? What version of that is, what version of the president is that? See? What version of the priest do you get in church in front of the congregation compared to the version of himself that you get when he's alone or when he's around younger little boys? What version of himself does he present then? See? So it ain't just us down here in the trenches. We are reflections of them in a lot of ways, because a lot of the behavior that you see us participating in, killing and doing dope and getting high and the madness that we do, it's trickled down. Do you believe that no cocaine has ever been snorted in the White House? In all of the years of the White House, you don't think there's never been an orgy in the White House? Uh-oh. Get in trouble now. You don't think there's ever been drugs and alcohol and wild behavior in the White House? We know what Clinton did in the Oval Office. Shawnee B. Me TV is in the building, man. What's up, Shawnee? What's up, Eugene? Ashley Brown say shrimps. See? DJ Memphis Mix know-it-alls. That's right. Did you think you was the last dragon? And then we become judgmental when we get a little knowledge. We become self-righteous, as if you was born knowing what you know. You wasn't born knowing what you know. When you receive knowledge, talking to me, talking to everybody that's listening, the more knowledge that you receive, the more knowledge you acquire and learn, the more humble you should become. Not the more boastful. Man, I'm learning more and more. You should become more humble. Humble in the form of being thankful that God allowed you to acquire this knowledge that others don't know and may never know. Then you have to take on the task of passing it along, because it's not yours. People think that when they gain knowledge and they start to get strong, you cold-blooded. Man, ooh, that dude's smart. Man, he deep. You start thinking that's your knowledge. Knowledge comes from the Creator, man. I'm gonna have your backs just like you had mine, Joe Biden. Yeah, he got your back, all right, way back. I'm gonna have your back. Hand me that knife. Richard said, I just try to vote out of civil duty. I don't show blind loyalty to you. Well, civil duty does not make voting mandatory for you. If you have if you have an interest, if somebody says something that you feel like, okay, yeah, I can rock with those policies, feel free, do what you do. I can't argue with your politics in terms of if you look at somebody and you feel like, yeah, that's my guy. But civil duty, this is my thing. The most important thing is family and community development. That's what our duty should be connected to. Our duty should be based around family, strong family structure, and community, strong community, and making our neighborhoods a safe and decent place to live, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, right? Because politics has shown us that it's going to fail us over and over again. So if we fall for the pitch that you're obligated to vote, people died for you to vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. If you don't vote, you're not doing your duty as a citizen. You're neglecting your civil duty. No. I got to look at you and say, man, do I even want to use my vote? My vote is like a token, a secret token. I can't just be flinging it out there willy-nilly like that. I got to, okay, hold on. I hear you talking, president, candidate, but hold on. Watch out, man. Watch out. I'm trying to get my vote. Watch out, dog. That's how you got to be with your vote. I need to know. And that's how we got to be with ourselves. You got to be, watch out. You don't get me. You don't get to get me. You don't get to get versions of me. See, that's why. No, I ain't going to touch that. See, I'm doing it right now. I'm exercising. I was getting ready to say something. Do you think Nancy Pelosi took the same shot she wants you to take? Man, it don't matter what they took. I ain't taking it. Clinton got that boss top. That should have came out back in the day. Bill Clinton got that boss top. Crowman84 said, pimps are now corporate in the form of record labels, movie studios, game studios, and owners of social media platforms. They're all our pimps. Actual facts. Yep. Actual facts. Clinton got that boss top. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, boom, boom, boom. Ah. Bill Clinton got that boss top. Let me shut up. Nick Nutt. No, it's not me biting my tongue. See, you've been listening to the whole everything I'm saying. There are certain things that should go unsaid. Time and place for everything. So sometimes we can get to talking and we say certain things, but something might come out just because the thought comes to the forefront of your mind doesn't mean it's time for it to come out. So I was getting ready to say something that was a good point, but it wasn't time to say it. So you hold it back. So it's not biting your tongue. It's just like people want to know. Oh, don't bite your tongue. You ever had somebody, don't gotta be, don't you hate when people do that? Don't you hate when somebody go, man, you know what? Never mind. You're in a strangle, like, man, why you bring it up? Because now you want to know. But I stopped doing that years ago. If somebody say something, man, I think it, you know what, forget it. I'll be like, okay, well, forget it. Don't bother me no more. Because whatever is meant for me to know or for me to hear, I'm going to hear it. And if it's not meant, then I won't. But I'm not going to try to force anybody to say something that they was about to say, then they retract. Even when people try to do that for attention, because people find out that upsets you, then they'll do it on purpose. I was going to tell you something, but I changed my mind. I was like, okay. And then that turns it on them and they get mad. They get mad because you're not mad. Tina P, the OG. Tina P, the OG. Tina P, the OG. Now you know what, Tina, I haven't mentioned that. I haven't put that out yet. So I'm not gonna talk about the thing that you showed me. I'm gonna wait till I get some understanding on it. Dollar bill. See, everybody know Tina P, man. Let me see. Dimitri Tudor, are you a pastor? Heck no. I'm not a pastor, and I'm saying heck no from the good sense and the bad sense. I'm not a pastor, meaning that when I say it like that, that means that for all of the good pastors, the good ministers and preachers out there, I'm nowhere worthy of holding that label. But also the heck no is on the other side too, like all of these dirty, rotten, slick, money hungry, sick-minded, evil pastors. I ain't them either. So to answer the question, nope, I'm not a pastor. We're talking about the 5 versions of yourself and myself. It might be more than that. Y'all know any? Feel free to list them. K, who had the most influence on your ideology? Farrakhan, mother, father, grandmother. You really named everybody. You just named them all. But if you're talking about my ideology, okay, I mean, if we're talking about just shaping me as a man, then you just named them all. You must have read my book. But as far as my beliefs, some would call them religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, then absolutely it's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because it's just like I never seen them be wrong. Never seen them be wrong. And their words have borne so much fruit in my life and in the lives of other people that I just got to bear witness to who these men are, whether other people believe that they are who they are or not. Because you ain't got to believe it's raining outside. You ain't got to believe it. But if it is, it is. Eugene Cotton up in this thing. God Mufasa. Yep, Sam King said he read both books. The final chapter is to, number one, the 5 categories that I mentioned. Make sure that you understand, of course, there are certain ways that you behave at home that you can't behave at work. Of course. Of course, there are certain things that you can put on social media that's cool and certain things that are not. You have to understand the balance, the balance that you have to have in knowing how to move through all circles of life and still be you. You don't have to be extreme here, extreme there, and still be you. There are different people you deal with on different levels. Absolutely. There are different friends and family members who you have interpersonal relationships with and different levels of understanding with those people. There are people who can relate to this aspect of your personality in this way that another person doesn't relate to it, but they just as good of a friend as that person because they relate to an aspect of your personality in a way that this one don't. So that's not the same as being two-faced. You have to make sure that regardless of how it goes down, it's like a menu. Well, my grandmother on my daddy's side, her peach cobbler is great. I love her peach cobbler. I go to her when I want the peach cobbler. My grandmother on my mama's side, her cake, her pound cake is just the best. So it's not wrong either way. It's just that different aspects of your personality connect with different people. But you not being a totally different person with this one as that one. There's certain, if I'm sick, why would I call my lawyer? I got a legal issue. Let me call my doctor. See what I'm saying? You rock the categories, but you always be you. If you're gonna stand strong on a principle under your roof, you stand strong on the same principle on your job. You know how people will say if somebody says something to them or may say something disrespectful to them, you may hear somebody say, "Hey man, my mama don't even talk to me like that." You establishing a level of respect. Like, look, man, I'm not gonna let you talk to me like this. I'm not gonna let him, her, or nobody else talk to me like this. It's just about being real. It's about being genuine. It's about Whatever that feeling that generates in your gut, that's what you act on. Don't go along to get along. We're not going along to get along. Gary King. All you got to do is when I'm done, just rewind back and just check it out when you get time. Y'all stand strong, people, man. One love.